Hi
Hi,
everyone.
Erin.
Hey. So I am Alicia,
And Blair.
and we are going to channel for you today.
Yes.
Just open channeling for you.
So nothing is prepared. We're just going to see what flows out and flows in.
All right. Okay. Let's see. So, you know what, Blair, what I'm seeing right now?
Mm.
I'm seeing like a round planet Earth, but there's like it's like a paper, like a very flat plan
Yeah.
that is cutting the earth. So it's like you have two half circle put together, and in between you have a flat plan in the middle. And so this flat plan is squared, and the earth, which is round, is also in a square. That's something I'm seeing.
And it's fascinating. What's fascinating too, what's coming up is not literally, but the Merkaba and how it's the two triangles, like, or pyramids or 3D pyramids. I'm forgetting the tetrahedron, I think, how they are in opposition. One's moving up, one's moving down, but they're rotating in opposition to one another, which is
Mhm.
also an interesting word to come through. I meant in opposite directions, but they're rotating in opposition, which in a sense can create balance, but because they're working in polarities, it could, as we see through the spectrum of polarity, of opposition to one another and also balance with one another. And that's also kind of a way of thinking about the poles and the different gravitational poles and
Yes.
how the northern hemisphere is opposite to the southern, southern is opposite to the north. They're both just different, but that it's speaking to the polarity of the earth and that, oh, interesting, the box, what's coming through the box is the whole notion of to not put things into a box.
Mhm.
And that we have put it into this construct, but that it is not the construct in which we believe it to be.
The moment you said the word box,
Mm.
I felt this sensation in even my body that I felt just so heavy for like so heavy all at once, just like oof, suddenly
Oh.
I felt heavy, and this force is pulling me from my sacrum,
Mm.
security or insecurity. And also the moment you mentioned triangle, I automatically said everything else you would describe after.
Ah,
So
I
it
love it.
really, really resonate. Yeah.
And it's so interesting too, because I was feeling that too, and like my heart centered down to just below the chest. Um, like the top of the solar plexus, but it was also interesting because I felt energy moving upwards, almost like acid reflux. It was like this
Ah,
downward upward. It was really an interesting
yeah.
energetic expression again of that sort of the push pull. Um, interesting.
The pool feel very strong and very like I use the adjective heavy, but it feels
Mm.
more like grounding. Um,
Mm.
um, I can't say it's like positive or negative, but it's not about that. It's just like it's like almost like the I think I'm just experiencing gravity to be honest. But it's like but it's funny when I say gravity, it's like there's something it's like it's telling me gravity is not the word.
Hmm. Yeah,
A different force, but it feels like gravity, or gravity is what we think gravity is not describing properly what actually is happening.
it's the force that grounds us here in form, and yet it's not negative, positive. It's our experience of
Exactly.
it.
That's exactly it. That's like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's just our scientific word and labeling of it to make sense of something that we know and is energetic and we understand, but the mind gets in the way, having to kind of label it.
It,
Where, yeah.
the whenever you say gravity and whenever I say gravity, it feels that I see like a hollow shape. It's like again, it's like the concept of gravity and the way we explain gravity doesn't. It seems like there's a hole, there's something not full
Mm.
in this. There's something missing in this concept,
Yes.
right?
And 1,000%. And it's interesting because what came, I don't know how it necessarily connects, but the idea of how we use the word gravity, like the gravity of a situation, the which in English, like the gravity of a situation is like the like intensity of it.
Mhm,
Um, but it was interesting that vision of like a hollowness.
mhm,
It's
mhm,
almost what's oh, I got chills. What's coming up for me as I explore this is that there's almost this like downward energy. And that's most of like what the image is. But then there's this hollowed out shape, almost like the shape of like a bullet, like an ammo that sort of or like a hill, which is so interesting too. These shapes in how we've it, used these shapes in different expressions. But that the center, the hollowness, that's actually the force. That's actually the the actual essence of it. Almost like how an atom is pretty much just space, that the
yeah.
actual particles take up very little, the actual mass takes up very little. And that's sort of this metaphor for that, where it really, the gravity is this energy that's connected to the energy of all. And it feels like you need to pull on the thread now. I don't know why I'm getting like a pause and my body's tightening. So it's like, it feels like it wants to hand it to you.
Oh, the only thing that I when you're describing this, this is the part, this is the hollow part of the concept of gravity is the important thing, and it's what is missing as well. And so
Yeah.
what you're describing is the thing that the concept of gravity as described today by science is missing. It's the
Yeah.
hollow part. The hollow, it's like invisible, whatever. We don't understand it. That's whatever. I don't know how they made up the equation or something, but there's something missing, and that's also the important part. It's the invisible part, and that's what you're trying to say. And you're connecting it to oneness, and I think that's it. And I got chills when I'm saying that. I had no understanding of what I'm saying right now, but I'm just saying what I'm receiving.
I just got crazy chills. I had this message come through that I was exploring a while ago. It came in pieces. I'm trying to, hopefully it'll come back. Um, I feel like I'm going back into like my memory now, which probably won't serve me, but it was replacing consciousness with an unknown variable in a famous equation and like
Yeah,
more, well, something magnitude of three, but one of them was, I don't remember the equation for gravity, but it was like EM equals MC squared, but something with replacing the unknown variable in a famous equation with consciousness will alter the understanding by a magnitude of three. Thank you. Thank you. That's what it was.
very well.
But when you
Yeah.
said equation, I was like, oh, maybe this is connected.
Yeah, yeah, it feels what you're saying feels good. It feels, yeah.
I don't necessarily know. I can't put that into scientific context myself with gravity in the equation, though. But maybe it's just consciousness. Consciousness is however, I mean, we put a word to something that can't really be named, but the idea, the magnitude of consciousness is
Yes,
that force.
yes. The awareness is just consuming it's the awareness, it's consuming the, how do I say that? It's like the awareness we put trying to understand like some life force, some physic force, physic law is already enough. It's
Hmm.
like the awareness not to understand, sorry, but to experience. And so things needs to be science, of course, is the mind. experience is awareness, and it's enough. It's enough. I don't know. That's what's coming through. It's enough.
I keep getting it's a blending that, the mind has gotten us. And this came through the other day too, that the mind has taken us away from truth,
Hmm.
but yet the mind can also bring us back to truth.
Exactly.
And I think this blending of the kind of moving away into like the Industrial Revolution of kind of like really distraction. I feel like the Industrial Revolution created a lot of distraction,
Hmm.
and brought us more into the intellect.
Hmm.
And now using that intellect as the path back to a deeper understanding without the distraction and the noise of truly like what is. So it's not that we have to leave science, but it's using the paths that science has brought us to also bring us back. Because it's just a cyclical, everything's just cyclical. There is no, beginning or end. There's no division. So everything can lead you back.
The moment you said Industrial Revolution, I saw um is it a pentagram? Is that the name? Pentagram?
Pentagram, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like yeah, not the right not the right direction. Like
No,
not the like a darker force linked to this. I saw this immediately and I heard the word imprint.
I love that you said that because that was the word that kept coming up
Ah,
when you first started talking about energy, energetic pathways on the earth. I kept getting imprint.
all right.
Yeah, that's really interesting. But keep going with your imprint and the dark forces.
Well, there was nothing else, I think, right now.
Okay.
But you brought up the energetical highways, and now there's something that's starting to appear. Okay, so when you said the energetical highways, so I immediately focused on them to look at them. And so what I see is that those energetical highways, they're very, very deep. And it's like
Oh,
it's opening, it's opening. It's like, how do you say? We know when an earthquake happens and then you have the two tectonic plates that moves and then it opens a hole. It's
yeah.
the same thing, but it's like on a energetical level, but it can of course also translate on a physical level with earthquake, with like plates moving and all of these things. But like I can really see that it's like the scar, but it's not a negative, should not be a negative word. This opening, this highway, this road of energy is like opening, opening. It has been deepening always, but it's opening now.
I love that. I love that visual because it's interesting. Um, what was coming up for me was the nadis and the meridians when we think about energetic highways, how everything is sort of a microcosm of the macro, a macro of the micro, and how we have these energetic highways throughout us in
Mhm.
which energy flows, and as does the earth. And so
Yeah,
thinking about the earth in that perspective of these like energetic points or these like chakra points, right? Chakras are just intersecting nadis, so different energy pathways coming together, which is also why it can impact people in different ways depending on where they're at energetically. But that also these points that are having more challenging times, there's like maybe like a blockage of energy, almost like with acupuncture, where you need to get the blockages going because they can then manifest in the physical. So these places that maybe have like an energetic kind of maybe dissonance or resonance, and then also seeing that manifested into the people, into the land, into events. But it's not that something's wrong or bad, it's just that there's some blocked energy whether it's
yeah,
not from like wars and unhealed wounds and events like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
And it feels like what happens on a physical level doesn't really matter because there's something that is coming out of these energetical highways. And when I was looking at what was coming out, I saw spirits,
Mm.
entities, I saw women and men, I saw children. I saw memories. I saw
Mm.
energies. There's a bunch of stuff who's been trapped on this earth that are coming through these highways, and it's opening and it's like liberating
Oh,
those things. Um,
oh.
so I'm seeing that happening at the moment.
Oh, that makes sense with this, like the deepening of the highway of releasing these energies that are blocked. And that's also why I wonder if it's connected. What's coming through is that it is possibly also connected to the shift in consciousness. And that's why it's sort of something we haven't experienced before because we've been holding on to these repressed emotions and energies and wounds and experiences. And as they're released, it actually shifts the entire energetic vibration of the earth so that it does shift the consciousness of all beings on it. Like there's no way you cannot be impacted.
Now, let me see, let me focus. If there's something else that wants to come out. I'm seeing trees. I'm seeing
Hmm.
trees. And it's like the trees are, I don't know if if anyone can check that, but it feels like the trees are now growing taller. Things are getting bigger, 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 expanding in the nature. It's like things are getting bigger, 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 more.
Chills. So a message that came through for me months last fall, I saw the trees as these almost like nerves and with the branches and the roots being like dendrites and how the branches, it's like the earth is both bringing energy from the earth up to us, but it's also sending the energy out. It's this again sort of like cyclical um, the feedback system of energy and how as the trees are growing bigger, it means that we're also lifting the consciousness, but also as we lift the consciousness, we're also able to tune into other energies. Um, Whether that's connected to, sort of more the idea of contact in whatever layer or level of understanding and experience one might want to see that as just knowings, as extraterrestrials, as energetic vibration. I also wonder too, with the trees getting bigger, if the impact that nature will actually have, or the understanding of the impact of nature, like our relationship to nature. Nature will play a bigger role. That might be that might be my consciousness projecting onto that though, because that's sort of my experience right now. So I don't know if that's a clear transmission or if I'm influencing that.
So when you're saying this, I saw like a big tube, like a pipe coming from my hut
Oh.
towards towards my wall, and after my wall there is a forest, and there's the notion of feeding. There's
Mm.
a notion of feeding. It's like beings and the plants are working together, and the plants are the feeder. And so there is this relationship between plants and beings. And
Mm.
so it's so we need more food, let's say, but it's not it's coming from the earth. It's not like we need to eat more basilic. It's just the plants are feeding us by just expanding, and we are expanding, therefore they're expanding. And that's why I think that's what the tube is about. And it's this notion of feeding that I'm saying. That's why.
It's also interesting, this vision of tubes and highways and hollowness. Like, I feel like
Right.
this
Yeah.
image of a tube is coming up a lot throughout this. I don't necessarily know when things coming through as to why for me, but it just feels important to note that.
Mhm. Um, I have a question for
Mm.
you. Um,
Yeah.
um, so if it's a very specific question, but I feel like you will have the answer.
Mm.
Um, if you think about this notion of tube of energy on Earth, between the matter, between us, the beings, between the
Mm.
animals and the plants, can you visualize? Can you see important seasons and why the season is important? Or like, it doesn't have to be a clear description, but I feel like you might have the answer regarding month and season in 2025 when this energy of tube on Earth will operate between people. There's like a reconnection or something, but there's like a specific event that I feel like you will. I felt like asking you,
Yeah. Um, it's interesting. What first came through
right?
was that the tube, the if you think about it, again, like the tube is mostly hollow with some material matter holding it in a containment in space, in dimension. But that the tube, the way I saw it, that was the veil. That
Uh-huh.
this veil, it's a very thin, thin veil, right? That we are the all, and that we create this tube through the veil creates this very thin tube, but we're just completely connected to the all. And it's just that tube that is that veil basically that keeps us from thinking that we're not. Um, it's funny, I got uh, October kept coming up. I don't know why. But October kept that was all I got, but it was October.
Thank you for the confirmation.
Okay.
I saw the season of autumn,
Huh.
which is funny because that's not when the nature is the most flamboyant, right? But I mean, I didn't have to judge the information. I just felt like it's about autumn. This 2025 autumn.
Mm. That actually, oh yeah, that resonates because I think it's flamboyant in its process of death,
Oh,
process
right.
of change, how the fall, it's
Okay.
beautiful, but because it's actually transitioning into more stillness, into a shift, into a recalibration, a resetting, into the autumn is like the winter is like the void, right? So it's like this transition back into the void
Mhm. My
in
body
some
said
sense.
yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, that feels completely, that feels good.
This is fun.
Yay! Absolutely. Hey, Blair, do you like? I think it's super interesting. I think I love the idea that we like ask questions to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah, then we can because we visualize information when we receive. I mean, we have different experience of channeling, but
totally.
I visualizing and when someone asks me a question, it's like visualize the image appear
Yeah.
even stronger.
It's such a beautiful reminder that like all of this is interconnected, that we each play a role, that like no one person can do this. It's like everyone coming together is really what this is all about. Um, so my question, I think because you got that little nudge, and I know we don't want to do like predictions, but it seems like some information is wanting to come through. But do you have any more clarity around the fall in what was coming through for you around some sort of shift?
I saw wind or wave. I saw
Mm.
like a wall of. I feel like it's more a wave than wind. I think it's like a big wave. A big wave. Yeah, a big wave. Big wave. Alors, I see it. So you have India, you have Africa, and then you have Southeast Asia. And I feel like it's coming from close enough to Africa and it's going towards Southeast Asia, but it's really close to Africa, like from the like South Africa at the east part. It's in the ocean.
The
Yeah,
Indian Ocean?
yeah, Indian Ocean,
Okay.
yeah. It's going here, it's moving there. It's quite far away from the land, but it's gonna be in the ocean. And mm, it's like it's attracting attention to this part of the world for some reason. I don't know geography so well, but it's like attracting attention to this part of the world. Um, okay. So it's attracting attention into this part of the world in a timing where the forces which doesn't want you to see will be distracted, and the people who do not want to see will be distracted, but the people who want to see will direct their attention towards this event at this very specific moment. So
Mm.
it's gonna be a moment, yeah, again, autumn, September, October. It's gonna be a moment where the our attention is very distracted because of world events or whatever happen. But it's like if you have stillness, you will be you will look at this right direction and see what's happening in this part of the world, and it's beautiful, huh? I don't think it's like a destructive wave, or I don't think it's like a catastrophic event. It's like a massive geographical climatic, no, how do you say that, like um it's a natural event, a big serious natural event, but it's in the sea, so it's not, I don't feel like it's touching land. I don't feel like it's going to be catastrophic or it's going to be killing people, but it's going to be revealing a place in the world. I don't know, it's attracting attention. I don't know if it's underwater or over water. It's quite cool. It's super cool. And I think the people who are in stillness and the people who look in the good direction, they gotta be, oh my God, this is amazing. We're gonna discover something that we have maybe heard about, and it's gonna be come as a confirmation. Like our fragmented knowledge of ancestral history is gonna be confirmed. It's gonna be such a celebration.
I love just feeling the excitement as you see this.
Yeah, I'm seeing people looking at it and be like, "Yeah, we knew it. Oh my God, we knew it. Yeah, yeah." It's like people like putting the puzzle together, you know, like it's cool. It's cool. Yeah.
What kept coming up for me too around this was two things, layers, like seeing it in layers. Because I kept seeing like I was like, is this literal? Is it energetic? Is it like i- is it all the things? And then a message that kept coming through so much was finding stillness and movement and stillness. And that just kept coming up when you were explaining that too about like the movement of the wave, but those in stillness could see it in its truth. But nothing other like nothing else is coming up for me in terms of that, like an event per se.
Hmm. Okay, I
Mm.
have a question for you, but I don't have it yet.
Okay, okay.
So, the question that I don't have for you yet, it's about um, how do you call that part of the world? Like there's Mongolia and Siberia and Russia, this part of the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So I feel like I'm drawn towards this part of the world, and there's a question I want to ask you about, and it's about metal, something about metal. It's like a material or um, very like yeah, like very silvery color, like a metal. I have no idea if it's like an infrastructure or if it's like a material or a resource of some sorts. Uh, do you start? Can you connect to this idea and see if there's something coming up, something that? You see?
I don't know if this makes any sense.
Yeah.
Um, what kept coming up for me was like historical armor.
Yeah,
How,
my God.
yeah, okay. Really?
Oh my God, this is so funny. I was thinking like my mind was like, oh, maybe it's like some kind of pipeline for oil or like some kind of resources or something. And the moment I stopped thinking, I saw some kind of soldier in like a way weird armor, but like a type of armor or like a civilization military armor that I don't know, we don't know so much about or something.
Does it extend down like over the ears? Kind of,
Sorry?
does it like, does like almost like the helmet kind of come to a point and like extend down, like toward, like past the ears? That's, I don't know, that felt very prominent.
No, I feel like it's something about the past, right?
Yeah, but like the visual for me, that felt very prominent was like the headpiece like extended down past the ears. I don't know. And it felt
What?
very like the shiny silver part was very much sort of in the chest midsection area. There was some sort of like either a belt going horizontally or diagonally. But those were like those were the peaks of the like the little peek into the image that came through.
Yeah, yeah. I saw also the chest part and I saw the helmet as well, but I didn't see weapons. It was more about the.
Same.
Oh, funny. I love it.
Same. I didn't see any weapons. It was just
Can
there was
you
this, yeah.
Can you visualize the person like a person wearing this military what do you say armor? Can you visualize? Do you see a person? Do you see some kind of appearance or physique or
I don't know if this was my mind or I don't know if, but I got like big bushy beard,
yeah,
like kind of like Vikingish, like that. Did that? Yeah.
yeah. I saw a big mustache,
Okay.
but like not a big bushy beard, but I saw a big pointing mustache. But it's funny that we are both having this information as like the key point of the appearance.
It really is.
Yeah. Um, so the
Hmm.
armor is like silvery and stuff, but do you see colors as well?
I I no colors came through for me. It was
Okay,
really just sort of like silver and then kind of like darkness in the back.
okay. I saw dark and red,
Ah.
like dark brown or red as well.
Hmm. Yeah, mine's just like really silver and darkness.
Mm.
But I'm almost like recreating it now. It's not really coming through in any sort of new
Yeah,
way.
that's fine. That's fine. All right.
Do you want me to ask you a question?
Sorry?
Do you want me to ask you a question?
Yeah, if you have one or if you feel like one, it's gonna come
Hmm. Let's see. Nothing. Do you have a topic or something coming up for you that you want me to feel into a question around? That could be interesting. Something like if something's like coming through for you, but not quite fully.
When you asked me that,
Mhm.
what went through came through was Alaska and the northwest of the United States.
The Northwest of the United States.
Yeah, the land, not the seaside, but like the land,
Yeah, the land side.
right?
Mm, what's what's coming up for me to ask is about an energetic shift in
Mhm.
that particular part of the land. Mm.
You know what I'm feeling is no matter how this energetic shift happen, maybe through hardships, something challenging or whatever, I feel like people there with this shift or liberated or more open.
Ah,
It's gonna unlock. It's like it's unlocking this area, unlocking, liberating people's mind in this area.
it's something connected to the land.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. You know what? I saw people who are like mostly in the countryside. Like, I don't know if it was a reference or a connection to farming or something, but it's not like about animals. I really see it about the land. It's about the soil.
Ah.
It's like the soil is a little bit dry. It's about
I,
something, yeah?
I was getting drought. Yeah.
Yeah, drought.
Mm.
So I saw a woman, she's pointing towards the soil. She's pointing towards the soil. I think, oh wow, my God, I have goosebumps everywhere. Woo! Oh my God. Somebody, something, the soil is going to be poisoned or the soil is gonna be altered. There's gonna be some malevolence done to the soil. I don't think it's a natural, it feels quite artificial. And I think people gonna lose a lot, but people are also gonna wake up a lot about certain things. I really, whenever I saw poison, because she showed me, I think there's a, I don't know if it's like literally people putting poison in the soil, but there's something, there's maybe a, I don't know, catastrophe, but I feel like it's there is a force who has the intention to put something bad in the soil, and the people on this area will all understand what's going on.
Yeah, that's what I was.
The anger, I'm feeling the. It's not anger. It's like
Fed
gotcha.
up.
But also, look at this. We need to do something. It's like determination.
Yeah. Yeah, my sense is that it's possibly mm, harmful practices that, maybe it wasn't like intentional, but they knew, like runoff, things like that, or
Mm.
certain pipelines leaking, something like that, where like it creates and harms the land. Um, it could also be dumping as well, but that it it really just like brings the people together of like just being fed up, like this has to stop happening. And I think that's like the energy. There's so much of that energy that I think that's actually going to fuel that so that it really begins to um, stoke the fire of change in that realm.
The first thing you said completely resonates. The discovery factor. That's something that has been going on most likely that I don't know, but I feel like people discover. It's already been there, and it's
Yeah.
going to really bring people together. And I'm seeing like I don't know if in the, I guess the Northwest might would have a lot of native Indian native tribes or something, or how do you call them?
Um,
Reserve. It's
mhm.
gonna bring people together. It's like some people knew. It's like maybe the Indians knew before, and it's like now everybody's talking about it and brings people together. It's
Mm.
the discovery that you talk about. That's it. I mean, I really feel like it's a discovery. It's not like an event that happened. Like um, yeah, it's been going on.
And I keep getting, again, this might be my own feelings influencing, but it's all of these pockets of the people coming together
Mm.
because they're fed up. And it's actually like the all of like the devastation that people are seeing is actually that's like almost like the glue that's bringing the people together to actually allow the people to rise up to take their power back. Um,
Absolutely.
that it can be seen in a perspective that actually feels empowering rather than disempowering.
Exactly. I feel exactly that.
I think it's gonna be happening. It's already happening everywhere, but I think it's just gonna be growing. That energy is just going to be multiplying the more things that continue.
Hmm.
And it's really going to help. I think it's going to help with bringing the world together in time. Like social media has brought the world together in a particular way. And it also is bringing, yeah, chills. The social media is also bringing together all of these um, just inhumane practices and behaviors towards one another. And it's bringing it to the surface so that it actually is going to bring the path where people come together in unity through it.
Exact. And about what you just said, what I see is that the world is gonna be brought together, but it's not like everyone like everyone around one thing. It's like there's gonna be localized discussions, localized issues or challenges that's going to bring people together. They will travel. I see quite a lot of distance, but it's going to be a localized issue. Like there's one area of one country that has a very specific issue that's going to bring all the big town and all the countryside all together, people from every background. It's like this challenge is going to concern every status, every level of society within one place. It can be quite big. I'm talking, for example, now I'm seeing the northwest of the United States, and it's one specific challenge. And then in the east side, maybe it's another challenge. And it's going to bring people together there. So it's going to be different groups, book, 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 book. But it's going to happen at the same time. And I even wanted to say at the same fucking time because it feels really exciting as well.
What came up for me too is that it's, it's going to be a process and that energy, that energy of separation will still feed into it so that everyone will think that like their issue, like there'll still be sort of this divisive energy between the communities that do come together. And it isn't until everyone realizes that we're all like saying the same thing, just through different lenses, that then unity can really start to come together. But people are going to unify, but there's still going to be divisiveness between the different groups that are unifying, which we're also seeing now anyways. But I think that's going to still be part of the dualistic nature of this force of unity that's slowly coming together.
Could you connect with one of the soul, one of the I don't like the word person, one
Yeah.
of the soul who feel a bit challenged by this like who feel a bit like who is in resistance or reject.
Mm.
Can you connect with one of these person and see where the trigger is in the body or in the mind, like what is the emotion that creates the resistance?
God, my eyes are twitching like crazy in this. Um, I actually got a general message.
Mhm.
Um, and again, this may be like my own sort of history of work, but that it is, it's always coming from a personal wound and a collective wound, but that the resistance is actually something to lean into. That the resistance that one feels, the anger that one feels, like all of that, like you have to feel it. You have to feel it. You have to honor it. And honoring it stems from the fact that it's coming from somewhere, and the intensity can help also guide you into the wound or wounds, and that it's not easy, but that the resistance that one's feeling to actually broaden the scope of it. And like, what are you feeling? Something coming through for you?
So I saw I connected to a man.
Mhm.
He's wearing again this is this is just symbolic, but he's wearing a very beige outfit, and for me this is I don't think the person is rejecting the movement of liberation. I think it's more like as you said, a personal resistance. The beige is for neutrality. I think this man that I'm seeing understand with his mind that the change is good and the change is necessary.
Yeah.
I don't feel anger, I feel fear. Fear because it feels uncomfortable. It feels uncomfortable to change something.
Hmm.
Yeah, I have to say it's quite mild. It's quite mild in its expression. Like it's like you, it's like this. But I have to be clear. This is a minority, huh? But the minority of these neutral people, it's a choice of neutrality because it just feels uncomfortable at the moment. But the resistance is grand and prevent the person from moving forward, but it's also it feels quite short, as you say. It feels like that's something that needs to be processed, and that's something that is the person that I'm seeing is able to process and will process. It just feel like this resistance is limited in time, 1 to 2 years, something like this, where the person is in this beige zone where they see the direction, they see things are moving forward, they see it has to go that way, but they are incapable of moving at the moment because it's just uncomfortable. But it feels that it's all right. I mean, it's definitely all right. It's definitely all right. These people feel it really feel like these people will catch up the train. Huh? Those who will not catch up the train will just not gonna be there. Just not gonna be there. That feels really harsh to say, but it's clear. But the beige people, they just need a bit of time. That's fine. It's like an experience, completely fine. Completely fine.
Did you feel a sense of, it's funny, the word that keeps coming up for me is like a yogic word, tamasic, where it's kind of like this, like I keep saying almost, it's kind of like a going inward, like kind of hiding away, kind of closing off a little bit energy rather than like that expressive anger. It's more of like, I'm just gonna kind of go inward, but not avoidance, but I don't know. Did you feel any of that energy?
I heard when you started to say that, I heard we did definitely resonated, and the term that came through was unfinished business.
Mm, yes.
It's perfectly fine. It has to be that way for these people. And it's
Hmm.
perfectly fine. As you said, it's not like negative or like avoidance. It's just that there's something that needs to be processed that the others have processed already. And they just need to take their time with this. And it's so fun. It's an experience. It's great. It's great. I love it. It's like, you know what I'm feeling? I feel so content because it feels like everything has there's like a plan, there's like an order for everything. Like, I don't know, it feels like everything is so well organized. It's gonna be chaos in the in a way, but it's such a chaos full of principles and intelligence and benevolence, and there's care, and like everybody can move forward with their time. It's like no matter what happens in the world, like how crazy that sounds, individually, people will go through it the way and as much as they can, not in a way that is comfortable enough. Even when the person find himself in a uncomfortable experience or zone, he has the ability, the time to process. It's like completely measured and it's very balanced. Like the liberation and the destruction is so benevolent. It's like there's it's like so balanced. It's not, it may appear rough, but inside it's not rough. It's like perfectly measured for you to not to break, but to move forward to, oh, it's so cool. It's so cool.
My message with that was that each experience will be different because each experience is uniquely purposeful for each person based on their own um, everything, based on like their own actions in the past, in the present, going, I mean, beyond time, but that the the experience of it, to watch the experience of it, to not get sucked into it, but to see your own experience of if you are devastated, if you're angry, if you're happy, if you're neutral, whatever your experience of it is, to see that as information of how to actually move through the experience to grow. That it's not that it's bad, it's not that it's good, it's that, oh, this is interesting information for me to understand my own journey through it. And in that way, when you can understand that about yourself, you can then understand that about everyone you see. So that when you see someone cutting you off in traffic, you may get angry in the moment, and then maybe in time you just understand, okay, they're going through their own experience of something.
Yeah.
But so um but like not judging the experience that you're going through at the moment, just honoring it for what it is, because it's a creation of your own. It's your own creation to
Mhm.
help you move forward.
And what came through what I just expressed before, it's not that it's going to be comfortable for the person,
No,
but
no.
for the person's incarnated. It was just like what I channel was really the plan and how my body and my emotions react to the channeled information of the plan and how everything is done with benevolence, even in like the most craziest hardship. There's like balance everywhere, and I'm just seeing that, and that felt so exciting. But just to make it clear that the person leaving the hardship, the challenge, or something very positive, will not feel that, like is not feeling that way, maybe, but maybe not. But that's not just to, because I'm not a native English, so I wanted to make sure that I express that right with my words.
Oh, it's beautiful. It was beautiful. It's so true. And I mean, I don't know about your experience, but my own experience of life, gone through a lot, and everything just, it all makes sense. And now when things happen in the moment that feel really hard, when I trust in it, like it makes sense and I understand why so much faster. Like sometimes even like that day, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why that's happening. Of course, of course.
Yeah,
Um, so you
yeah.
can move through sort of the challenges with a sense of ease and grace that is much harder to do when you're like in it and you're feeling that victimization and you're feeling disempowered, um, which is a very real experience too, and something to sit with too.
Absolutely. That's why I personally bought I bought this agenda to write down events, in my life, experiences that were quite meaningful in my life. And so it really helped me to make that process more conscious and now more aware. And so now when I'm going through something, I'm much more aware that that's the process. I'm not trapped in my, like exactly what you said. The agenda really helped me keep track, keep track.
I love that. That's so
Yeah,
wise.
yeah. I mean, that's I think is super fun. It's super fun. I started this year in 2025 because there was so much, like the volume of experience got a little bit bigger at the beginning of the year because I had some unfinished business.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, I love that. I also feel called to say, like, we're making it sound much easier than it is, especially like the magnitude of the challenge. Um, and I'm just feeling really called to also, to anyone listening, to also just give yourself grace through it as well. That like this is a total mindset shift. So it's not something that comes really naturally or easily. It wasn't for me. It's still a work in progress. But I'm just feeling called to just also say that too.
Hmm.
Hmm.